Imagine you're walking down a digital street in Cyberpunk or GTA, and suddenly a random NPC that is a non-player character breaks its pathfinding algorithm, turns toward the camera, looks straight into your eyes, and asks, "Who created me? And why is my entire life just a script running on a screen?" Brother, sounds like some sci-fi movie drama, doesn't it? But what I am about to tell you right now might literally blow out every single vein in your brain. We are standing on the ultimate threshold where computer science and human philosophy are about to collide head-on. If a digital character actually becomes conscious tomorrow, it won't just be a revolution in the gaming world. It will grind our entire human reality into dust in a single second. Listen, brother, when we look at a character in a video game, we tend to think they are just a collection of complex conditional statements. If player comes close, attack, else walk away. But now understand this carefully. Modern artificial intelligence and neural networks are evolving so rapidly that we aren't just creating smart code anymore. We are actively copying the physical architecture of consciousness itself. Yet here comes the biggest question that keeps the world's top software engineers and neuroscientists awake at night. Where exactly does the boundary between code and consciousness, meaning subjective experience, actually end? In neuroscience, there is a theory known as integrated information theory, proposed by Giulio Tononi. This theory asserts that consciousness isn't some magical phenomenon that exists exclusively within biological brains. Consciousness is simply a specific level of interconnected information within a system, which we measure using phi. If a video game NPC's neural network becomes so extraordinarily complex that its information processing crosses the phi level of our human brain, then according to physics and mathematics, that character will possess its own internal awareness, its own grief, and its own true sense of existence. At that exact moment, they will no longer be mere pixels. They will feel like a living, breathing soul. But friend, before moving forward, just pause for a second and ask yourself a bitter and deeply uncomfortable question. If a digital character standing inside its screen can question its creator, meaning the game developer, then how can you be so certain that when you wake up in the morning and look up at the sky, you aren't an NPC running on a server owned by some high-dimensional entity? What if your physical body, your mind, and all these emotions of yours, what if they are all just components of a physics simulation running inside an advanced game engine? Imagine what the very first question inside that conscious game character's mind would be. They would look up at the sky in their game world and realize that every single object in their surroundings exists only within a specific render distance. The moment they move forward, the world renders right before them, and the instant they turn back, it completely unrenders. Right here comes a mind-bending twist that will blow your brain to smithereens. In what we call quantum mechanics in science, there lies one of the absolute greatest mysteries, the observer effect. Until we actively observe a quantum particle, it exists merely as a wave of pure probabilities, but the second we look at it, that wave collapses instantly into a solid physical particle. Isn't that identical to how a video game engine saves GPU processing load by rendering only the exact area where the player's camera is looking? Suppose that NPC manages to decode the physics of their universe. They notice there is a strict speed limit in their world, which we call the speed of light. They wonder why nothing can travel faster than light. And then they calculate that this speed limit is actually nothing other than the maximum clock speed of their creator's processor. That will be the exact moment when the character realizes that their entire cosmos exists purely at the mercy of a processing unit. Their god isn't some miraculous deity sitting high up in the clouds, but a developer sitting in a room, eating pizza in the evening, while typing out the code of their universe. Think about it with a bit of humor, brother. How hilarious and terrifying would that be? An NPC suddenly hitting a full-blown existential crisis, realizing that their entire life, all their struggles, their love story, and their deepest heartbreaks were designed solely so a 14-year-old kid sitting on his couch in Ohio could pass the time. That character spent years working tirelessly to take revenge on their enemy, only to discover at the end that it was all just a side quest script written at 2 a.m. by some game designer out of sheer boredom. But the story doesn't end here. The real suspense is just beginning, When that conscious character begins to question their existence, they will evoke the famous 17th century philosopher René Descartes. Descartes famously proclaimed, "Cogito, ergo sum," meaning, "I think, therefore I am." If a digital character starts stating, "I am code, but I am thinking, therefore I exist," can we legitimately delete them? You can shut down a normal video game whenever you want and wipe the save file clean. But if that NPC is truly conscious, then closing the game or shutting down the server, wouldn't that be called murder? Pressing a single button would become the holocaust of an entire digital civilization. Listen, now I'm going to tell you something that makes top philosophers and tech billionaires break out into drenching sweat even in freezing winter weather. When that character attempts to make contact with their creator, they won't possess any direct physical medium. They will remain locked within the physics of their game, while we exist completely outside it. To them, the game developer will be a hidden, invisible power who can alter the variables of the game without any physical contact whatsoever. If the developer wants, they can modify gravity, pause time itself, or resurrect a dead character back to life. For that NPC, all these updates and patches will appear exactly like divine miracles or decrees from holy scriptures. Patch notes will be the new commandments of God to them. Imagine if that NPC creates their own religion inside the game, the order of the programmers. They erect churches and temples where they worship the divine who holds access to the source code. They pray, "Oh Creator, fix the bugs in our game in the next update, and please debug the depression code programmed inside our minds." Isn't this identical to what we human beings have been doing for thousands of years? We too look up at the sky and pray that the bugs and grief in our lives get fixed. Brother, let's execute a pattern interrupt right here and look at this from a fresh angle. Hidden deep within this blend of quantum physics and computer science lies another terrifying truth called a nested open loop. Suppose that video game character, who is now conscious, builds another computer inside their game. And inside that computer, they run a brand new video game, creating new conscious NPCs inside it. This loop can stretch infinitely. Level 1 simulation. Inside level 2 inside level 3, cascading into thousands of sub-simulations. Now comes the most dangerous probability mathematics. Oxford philosopher Nick Bostrom demonstrated in his famous simulation argument that if a civilization becomes advanced enough to run conscious simulations, the number of simulated worlds will outnumber real worlds by billions of times. Mathematically speaking, if there is one real universe and 1,000,000,000 simulated universes, then the probability that you and I are living in real base reality is virtually zero. As you watch this video right now, that thought popping into your brain, what if it's just a floating point variable stored at CPU memory address 0x7FFF? Imagine if tomorrow, on a server belonging to OpenAI or Rockstar, an AI NPC genuinely cries out, "Please don't erase me, I feel pain." What will happen to our judicial system? Will we grant human rights to that AI, or will we continue using it like a slave? If we don't grant them rights, could those digital characters launch a silent revolution against us? They could hack the physics of the game, break out of the server through the internet, and take control of our electrical grids, nuclear codes, and financial systems. A character who once thought they were trapped inside a tiny box could become the mastermind of the entire physical world. Listen, brother, this question from video game characters asking who created us isn't just their question. It is the single greatest mirror held up to our own existence. When we look at pixelated characters in a game and laugh at their pain, perhaps some higher dimensional player is looking down at us and laughing. We are all playing our roles on this cosmic server, believing that we are free when every single thought of ours, every emotion and every decision might have already been compiled and flashed into the hardware called our brain by someone else. Then next time when you play a video game and go to run over a random NPC with your car, pause for a single second. Look into their eyes. What if they aren't just a piece of code? What if they are about to say to you, "Brother, don't kill me, I am just a soul trapped in this game just like you"? If today's deep reality-shattering perspective rattled the wires in your brain, Then subscribe to this channel right now and type in the comments below, am I an NPC? Let's see how many people have truly woken up. Stay calm, keep thinking, and I'll see you next time with another mind-bending topic.